high level. Odipo, we watched Egypt almost get disappointed by Mozambique. And of all teams, actually, when most analysts were looking at those groups, Mozambique was not one of the teams that anybody was mentioning anywhere. Yet they almost caused a huge upset. And I know there are some people who've been complaining about the amount of time that was added towards the end of that game, and the penalty that was awarded to Egypt that saw them score that equalizer. But then another big name almost falling to Amino.
True that. I think it's a new dawn for their small African teams. What actually was believed to be small, there's shall I call it an insurgence of these teams. They're not bothered anymore by big names and big teams, and that's interesting to watch. I think we're enjoying this tournament than any other tournament. Nothing is obvious anymore, and that's better football than we've experienced in the past, where we always knew who's going to be in the semi-final and probably the finals.
Well, we always knew who was going to be in the semi-final and probably the finals, is what Odipo says. But then we also saw quite an upset, because for me, it was quite an upset. Cape Verde beating Ghana by 2-1. Quite unexpected. Ghana with big names. But then we've seen this happening several times, Taiwo. When Ghana up there at the big stage, they disappoint.
Yeah, I mean, it's a big upset. I think Cape Verde have done very well to beat Ghana. I think most of their players are coming from Portugal anyway, aren't they, Cape Verde? But yeah, Ghana have to really...
But most of them are playing non-league football.
Oh, yeah?
A majority.
Okay. But I think they've got the former Man United player, what's his name? Pepe.
Yeah.
So I think they've got the experience.
No, that's Angola.
Oh, Angola.
Yeah.
Okay. So but Cape Verde obviously have some experience, and I guess Ghana have to look at themselves and regroup and, you know, try and get a result in their next game. But yeah, like I said, the level of all the teams this year, in my view, has gone up, and they're all competing, and it will be interesting to see, you know, who can actually beat the underdogs, and the underdogs beat the favourites.
Well, we will all be definitely looking forward to the underdog beating the giant. And I think I like what you said, Odipo, in terms of being able to see some of the smaller teams go further forward, advance into the knockout stages, and we can basically boast of a new winner. The last time we had a new winner was back in 2012, and that was when Zambia won the Cup of Nations unexpectedly, by the way, and they came in as one of the tournament outsiders. Nobody fancied them to go ahead and actually win that tournament, but they did. And there was a lot of talk about them playing ugly football, but isn't the result what really matters at the end of it all? Yes, we played ugly football, scrapped through 1-0 wins all the way to the end of the tournament, but then lifted the trophy.
Yes, sometimes the end justifies the means. We must agree. But football also is an entertainment sport, so it's also good to see some good football. Anyway, what is happening now is not by chance. These are investment, long-term investment that this country put in place. These are players who've developed through the youth systems. If you look at the average ages in this tournament is 26, 27 for most teams. These are young men actually who are coming up.
Well, just looking at some of the players here, warming Sofian Amrabat playing for Manchester United in England, and basically just looking at the Moroccan side and the lineup that has already been pulled out by coach Ragragui. Quite a competitive side, quite a team that can beat anybody on their day. This same squad making it to the semi-finals of the World Cup, the last World Cup back in 2022. Do Tanzania have a chance, Taiwo?
Well, every team has a chance. They're the underdogs. I guess Morocco are the favourites by a long shot. I think, but Morocco have to produce. You know, they're going to have to go out there and actually show that they deserve to win the match. Tanzania are probably not going to give them much space, and they're probably going to, you know, chase down everything because they know they don't have the talent. So I think in games like this it will be interesting, because I think Morocco, again, are used to playing against teams that will probably give them a bit more space in certain parts. But with Tanzania, they're expected to...
just to say that our guest analyst is just arriving as you speak about the teams there on the pitch. Cabinet Secretary for Sports, Babu Namwamba, will be the fourth gentleman that will be sitting here in the panel. For those of you who think there is just a cabinet secretary who does not understand his games, who does not understand the sport. He does understand the sport, and that is why he will be joining us literally to also just tell us in terms of the preparations of Kenya as a country, and also the joint bid that has been put forward by the 3 East African countries, that is Kenya, Uganda and Tanzania, in the next African Cup of Nations, how far we are. But then it will also be interesting to hear which team he fancies to literally take the night. And I watched as our newscasters here earlier were literally drumming their support for Tanzania, and we were trying to talk down at them, telling them that they do not literally have a chance. But then, truth be told, football is round, and as we say, mpira in Swahili, hudunda, and what that means is sometimes you might believe that you're the favorites, but then something happens and then you lose that particular match. And I believe just these day-to-day Tanzania, knowing very well that they lost 2-0 to the same Moroccan side, 2 months ago, that was back in November. Should that be something that is at the back of their minds, or should that motivate them to actually go out and beat Morocco today?
I mean, if you look at both teams, Morocco is coming to this tournament as the top-ranking team in Africa. In this tournament, Tanzania is the lowest-ranked team. If they pull the rabbit out of the hat, it will be a classic David and Goliath story. It will be a big thing. They'll write their names in history, in football history for that matter. Because honestly, the way the Moroccans are lined up, the players, the stars, the bench itself is another team. And like Taiwo says, Tanzania, I wouldn't say the talent, but they don't even have the experience to play this level with this kind of team. It's not going to be easy for them.
Well, it's definitely not going to be easy for Tanzania, and it's also not going to be easy for Morocco, because at the end of the day, the Moroccans will be coming out knowing that they are fancied to be the favorites. But Coach Magrabui coming out and saying that they basically are not the favorites. But as we welcome the CS Sports here in the studio, with the of you can do with this to just confirm that you've ever played football, eh? It's a test to confirm that the CS is not just going to be talking about the football, but he's actually ever played the game, and that's mainly the reason why we asked him to come here today to generally just not talk about the game itself. Karibu sana waziri.
Thank you.
Hello, how are you?
Good evening, sir.
Wow. Hello, good to meet you.
So we've just been joined by CS AJAABU Namwamba to literally go through this match between Tanzania and Morocco. And what I see is, while you were walking in, we were looking at the chances for Tanzania. And one of the key questions we were asking ourselves is, what are the chances of the underdogs? So far, we've seen a few of the underdogs doing pretty well. Can Tanzania be able to do it as our neighbor?
You know, anything is possible in football. And if the recent history of football has taught us anything, is that there is really no underdog anymore in football. Morocco themselves are a good manifestation of that.
Exactly.
No one gave them a chance at the World Cup in Qatar. They went all the way to the semifinals. And so nothing stops Tanzania doing well. And already we've seen teams like VAD, Namibia, doing pretty well. And so this is an amazing tournament where pretty much everybody can beat everybody.
Well,
so I'm not discounting. Tanzania have as good a chance as any. Yeah.
Well, Tanzania has as good a chance as any. But then if we are to look at the names, because one of the big things that most people will look at are the fancied teams, are the big names in the team. We have the likes of